The following Car Geek Hour is a paid advertisement program provided by Cassill Motors, and airing of the program is not to be considered endorsement or recommendation. The opinions expressed are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of WMT or Clear Channel Media and Entertainment.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the My Car Geek Hour.
Well, good morning, Jim. How are you?
Good. How are? Hey, thank your wife for this. This is very nice.
Well, yeah.
You sent me over some cookies.
I was getting ready to leave this morning, and she's like, "Oh, you got to take Jim some cookies."
All right.
It's like, wow.
And they won't go to waste. I'll tell you that.
She's like the cookie Nazi.
Okay.
And only puts out so many cookies so that the customers only get them, and that way Roger or myself, nobody else can get them. And it's like, wow, she's handing me a plate of cookies, and she says, make sure Jim gets them all.
Oh, do you want one?
Yeah, if she knew I was getting one, man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I better not.
All right. Well, thank her very much. That was very nice.
I think she'd test my blood sugar at night just to see if I had any cookies. Yeah.
All right. So. Jay Cassill is here, Cassill Motors, and he's going to help you fix your car, right?
Well, we're going to try to help you fix any cars, or you know what, if you're trying to buy a car, or sell your car, whatever. You know, I want to help. You know, that's the fun of it. That's the joy of what I do is I get the opportunity just to help.
All right. Now, so if you have a question for Jay, give him a call here. Phone numbers are 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. So, and you've been fixing cars. Well, actually, you've been around cars since you were how old?
8 years old.
I thought maybe they brought you in as a little bundle of joy, and you started right then.
Well, I don't know if I've ever been a bundle of joy. So I've been more of a pain to a lot of people.
Nothing
Nobody's
like that.
Nobody's ever said I was a bundle of joy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly nice to have you here, and I tell you what, with all of the rain and everything, this is a great day to go out and talk to you. You're gonna be there today, right?
I'll be here all day today, or I'll be there all day today. Well, I'm here at the station right now.
All right. Well, I know where you're at right now. So, gee. Boy, the first one I ain't got a chance here.
That's right.
All right.
There you go.
So we got some calls coming in, but while we're waiting for those to get on the screen here, can you tell me about what you have right now for sale out at Cassill Motors?
Well, every day's a sale at Cassill Motors. You actually don't have to have a sale. Greg and Gerald and everybody, the deals are always hot every day. They like to just do a great, honest type deal and give you the best quality product for the best price that we can. So we have extended hours. You know, Mondays and Thursdays, our sales office is open from 8 till 9, 8 in the morning till 9 at night. Our service department is open from 7 in the morning till 9, Monday through Thursdays. That's 9 p.m. Fridays, they're open from 8 to 5 or 8 to 6, and Saturdays 8 to 5. And the service department is open till on Saturdays till 5 o'clock also.
I got your long hours there. That's great.
We have long hours. They run 2 shifts. We got awesome mechanics, the salespeople. You know, I just can't say enough good things about the staff at Cassill Motors.
Because how many times at night or on the weekends, all of a sudden, you know, and there you go. Just take it to Cassill Motors.
There you go. We can get it handled. Hey, we got callers coming in.
Boy,
let's
we do.
Take some calls.
Let's do it. Let's talk to Eric in Muscatine. Hi, Eric.
Hi, guys.
Good morning. What can we do for you?
Hey, I got a Pontiac Grand Am.
Okay.
And I got a issue with the security system.
Correct.
About every, maybe 1 in 20 or 1 in 30 times you go to turn the engine on, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. The security system locks up and won't let it start.
Right. So I was told it was something to do with the chip in the ignition or the key or something that it wouldn't recognize. It lost the code for the key or whatever. I don't know if that's true. I'm looking at fixing it before I sell the car. I don't know if I'm dealing with a $500 fix or a $5,000 fix.
Well, there's a couple different ways of fixing that.
Okay.
You know, you can replace the security module and do it that way, only to have the trouble reoccur.
Sure.
You can take it in and they can bypass the security system, and then you won't ever have that problem. Or you can also go and have a remote start put on it, and the remote start, they have to bypass the system. Depends on which system. If you're going to sell it, I would look at bypassing the security system on it. Would be the best thing to do. That way the next customer won't have that problem with the car too.
Sure.
So that's where I would go with it.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. You bet. Jay Cassill, my guest this morning. Cassill Motors, talking about your car and how he can help you. Sally is on the line. Hi, Sally.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My question will probably sound stupid, but it's about oil, changing oil. I do not drive a lot of miles.
Okay.
Do I change the oil every 5 or 6 months, or do I actually go by the mileage, which it takes me?
How many miles a year are you putting on?
Oh gosh, not many. I don't know, a couple thousand maybe. I don't even know.
You know, the doing it every 3 months or 5,000 miles. With as few miles as you're doing, I would say you don't have to do it every 3 months. Okay. I would tell you that with what you're doing, I would like to have it changed once a year.
Oh, just annually?
Well, do you drive a lot in the wintertime?
Nope.
Okay. I definitely at least once a year for me, please. Okay.
But it is like every 6 months better?
The best thing that I'd like to see you do is right before fall. I'd like to have it changed, and then come spring, I'd like to have it changed again.
Okay.
If you did it twice a year, it's even better. But once a year, if you're putting on a couple thousand miles a year, once a year is sufficient. Okay. But if you wanted to, what kind of car do you have?
Toyota Corolla.
Okay. Twice a year on that there, because those had a little bit of a sludge problem, which you're not going to have sludge with what you're doing, or you shouldn't.
Okay.
But change it before winter, and then change it come spring.
Good enough. Thank you very much.
No problem. And there are no dumb questions. Okay.
Sometimes I wonder.
Nope. There is. That's the part of this radio show that I love, is there is no question that I would ever consider dumb.
Wonderful. Thank you so
no
very
problem.
much.
Thank you for calling in.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right. Jay Cassill, my guest this morning, Cassill Motors. Let's see, Kevin in Dubuque. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I have a 1984 Camaro I purchased, and it was running when I bought it, and then his rod bearing went out on it.
Okay.
And so it's the V6, the 2.8. It was getting 30 miles to the gallon. And I went ahead and bought a remanufactured long block.
Okay.
But I was wondering, is there anything I can do to add a little bit of either performance to it, because I'll have the engine out and I can pull the transmission as well.
Right.
So I just like a cam, or it has a really weird intake on it, but from what I'm used to seeing off the old 350s.
Right.
So I didn't know if you had any suggestions that wouldn't diminish greatly the MPG on it.
Well, when you start playing around with injectors, if you bought a reman motor,
It's carbureted.
Okay, it's carbureted. Okay.
Yeah.
With doing a reman motor, I hate to, because of the warranties and everything that you have.
Warranties.
No warranties on a reman motor?
Yeah, it was a deal out of a company out of Texas that bought out a company out of California. And so, yeah, it's just and it was, I got the engine reman for $575.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can't, you don't get a warranty for that.
Okay. You could be looking at camshafts to help out on performance. Some exhaust. There is some different headers out there. Anytime you're putting more to the engine as far as with cams or intakes, air cleaner type stuff, if you can complement it by doing exhaust, will also help out. Okay, so you want to look at the whole picture. So many times people want to put more into it. They want to change cams, they want to change rocker arms, they want to reject carburetors, they want to put bigger carburetors on, but then they don't do anything with the exhaust, since you're defeating the purpose there. If I'm gonna put more in, I need to get more out. So look at exhaust is such a big thing. I would start and make sure, if I spend any money, especially with having the motor out right now, I would start with a good exhaust system. Nice free-flowing muffler, a set of headers or some better flowing manifolds, that type of deal. If you're going to run the catalytic converters, freer flowing converters, doing that part there, because changing carburetors and complementing the upper end and the intake is a lot easier once it's in. Right now is the best time to be doing all the exhaust stuff to it.
So if I don't go with headers, would adding the dual exhaust benefit it?
Yes, it would. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, doing some exhaust work on it, free-flowing muffler. Like I said, if you're doing converters, free-flowing converter, that type of deal there. So.
Okay. Is there shops in town that do that kind of work?
Oh yeah. Yep. My personal preference is Professional Muffler. Randy down there does an awesome job on exhaust work. So tell him that I sent you down there, and he'll treat you really good.
Well, thank you very much, Jay.
No problem.
Appreciate it. And,
Okay.
Enjoy the show, guys.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for calling in.
You bet. Bye-bye.
600 WMT, Jay Cassill, my guest this morning. Cassill Motors. Phone number, if you want to talk to Jay, is 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone, and the brilliant Jay Cassill.
Oh, boy.
Here we go. Dorothy in Vinton. Hi, Dorothy.
Hi.
Good morning.
Yeah, how things going for you guys?
It is absolutely awesome here. How's everything up in Vinton today?
It's been raining.
Yep.
Yeah, I just looked out. I have an 88 Olds, 88
Okay.
Royale.
Yep. Nice
And
little
every
car.
once in a while, it'll stall on me.
Okay.
It's got about 105,000 miles.
Perfect.
Actual miles.
Okay.
It was, I think I'm the second owner of it.
Okay.
Well, and then it'll start up again after a while. What would be causing that?
Okay, so after it dies, you're going down the road and it dies. And you have to sit and let it wait for just a little while to kind of almost cool down a little bit, and then it starts right back up, right?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay. That should have the 3800 V6 in it. And those there, there's two different sensors that can create this problem. Your crankshaft position sensor and your camshaft position sensor.
Oh boy.
And well, no, it's pretty easy. When you take it into a shop, you have a shop up there that you trust, right?
Yeah, my son does a lot of it. He's a pretty good mechanic too.
Okay, perfect. When he plugs in the scan tool, he'll be able to see that it's going to tell him that one of these sensors has been malfunctioning. So, but most likely it's a crankshaft position sensor is what I see a lot of times on those. So
it does happen then, huh?
Yep. What happens is it's a plastic sensor of course it's a metal engine, and this plastic sensor, it's in the engine where it's warm, but then it's got a part of it that's outside in the temperature and the climate and everything. And what we see is after a little while, that plastic, of course, plastic with the heat, the contraction and everything. After a little bit, the sensor inside it'll get a short in it, to where once it heats up, the plastic expands and makes it to where there's not contact, and after it cools down just a little bit, it starts right back up.
Okay, that's what's that sensor called?
The crankshaft position sensor. But don't just go down and buy one and change it. I want you to have somebody plug it in on the scan tool and make sure that that's the code, because it could be a camshaft sensor too. Okay, so always have somebody diagnose it first on that. But that's where I would go on it, because like I said, I see a lot of those. I just had one just the other day that was doing that, and it was a crankshaft position sensor.
Is that very expensive?
No, it's not very expensive. So
okay, I'm not sure whether he's got a scan tool, but I'll
if not
check it out.
Up in Vinton up there, if you take it up to Irvin's, their shop is a very good shop, and they would be more than happy to scan it for you. Or if you want to come to Cedar Rapids, I'll scan it for you too, and you can have your son change it, whichever you want.
Yeah, sometimes I'm afraid to drive it, for because I'm in my 80s and I don't like to be stalled someplace. But okay, so if he can find or have a scan tool,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. Stop up to Irvin's up there, and they do a great job up there. Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, we have to take a break, but we hope Kurt stays on the line here.
Yes,
We'll get
Kurt,
to him
hang
when
on. We'll be right back.
Yes, we will do that. Cassill Motors, tell us about Cassill Motors a little bit.
Cassill Motors, we are on the corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard, right next to the great big Tysons. 396-2698, and the beautiful Shelley will put you through to whoever you want to talk to.
All right, both of you working today, huh?
Well, I think she's leaving right now. She just came in to make cookies for you.
I see. Sure she did. All right. Where is it? Okay.
Where is it? We
I
lost
don't know.
it.
We lost it.
We lost
somewhere
the music.
here. There it is. Just for you.
Awesome. There you
Little
go.
Beach Boys music.
Little Beach Boys this morning. Gotta love that.
Yeah, all right, there you go. Anyway, Jay Cassill is my guest. Cassill Motors, we're taking calls at 365-0600. He is 1-800-332-5401, star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. And he's telling you what's wrong with your car and how to fix it.
I'm trying to.
And you have a service department that'll do that for him, too, if
That's
they'd
right.
like.
We have the best service department in the state of Iowa.
All right. Let's
Just ask me.
We've made Kurt... Okay.
Let's get to Kurt. He's been waiting patiently. Come on.
Just ask you. I'll ask you.
Yeah,
Kurt,
just ask
Kurt and Marion. Hi, Kurt. How are you?
Well, good morning.
Good morning. We're just having a blast here this morning. What can we do for you?
Well, this relates to service. Now, I've seen on your lot you've had, on occasion, a couple of RVs.
Yes.
Do you service those, or is that a specialty for other shops?
We service anything and everything. So.
Oh, okay.
We can do whatever you want to do on your RV, your boat, camper. There's been some bigger trucks in there, little trucks. My guys, this is the fun part about Cassill Motors is we are a can-do. You know, my father and mother would never let us say can't at Cassill Motors. And the great thing about my brother now as owner is he's going by the same theory. We never say can't. We are a can-do, and we will do whatever we have to. So I've seen forklifts in there and whatever. But, yes, campers, we love campers.
Okay. All right. Well, that answers my question.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. 600 WMT. Jay Cassill. What?
The great part is, I gotta say that my boss is
your brother.
No. The real boss.
Oh, the real boss, the one at home.
No, my sister-in-law.
Your sister.
My sister-in-law.
I'll get there sooner or later.
My sister-in-law, Colleen.
Okay.
She gives me the opportunity to come here every week and do this and voice my opinion.
I see.
And she's just she's the most awesome boss.
Well, bring her in here sometime.
I should bring her in here.
Yeah,
if I get her talked into it, I'd bring she's the world's best boss.
Well, that's great. That's great.
So thank you, Colleen, for letting me do this.
Okay. Thanks, Colleen. Everybody in the dealership now, thank Colleen.
Yep,
I think that's a good thing.
Thank Colleen. She's the top.
Well, you're pretty good at the promotion of Cassill Motors.
Well, she makes it awesome. She makes us look good and lets us do whatever we want to do, and she's awesome.
All right.
So that's great.
Got to meet her sometime.
Yes, you do.
Let's talk to Dave in Coralville. Hi, Dave.
Good morning.
Good morning. What can we do for you?
Yeah, I had a question about tire pressures.
Oh, I love tires.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have an 07 Ford Freestyle and an 05 Buick LaCrosse.
Perfect.
Freestyle says to put 32 pounds of air in the front and 34 in the rear.
Correct.
And I'm just wondering why they would have a discrepancy between the two front and rear like that, and if it's really better to have 34 in the front also, or?
Well, now you're reading on the door. Yep.
Yeah.
The reason they're doing that is that with the Freestyle, you said Freestyle.
Freestyle, yeah.
Yep. With it being carrying capacity is what they're doing. They're raising the tire pressure just a little bit because they set out some standards of its load carrying capacities.
Right.
And the reason, the way they're getting their more capacity is by the tire pressure.
Okay.
Okay. To drop them down, to get the best ride, if you want to run one tire pressure all the way around, I would put them at the 32 all the way around.
Oh, you would?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yep. When you put more air in, you sacrifice ride.
Oh yes.
Yep.
But the Buick then that says to put only 30 pounds.
Yep.
And to me that seems pretty light. I mean, not enough.
Well, Buick is always pushing on the best ride.
Right.
30 pounds. That's the tire's designed to do what it's carry its weight capacity.
Right.
30 pounds might be just a hair light, but again, like I said, the more air you put in them, the different ride you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You look at your tires. Your Freestyle probably has 16-inch, and maybe
or 17 actually.
It's got 17s.
Yes.
Okay. What size tires does your Buick have?
Buick is 16.
Okay. Huh. That's weird. I would have thought it would have been the other way.
Nope.
But yeah, you can, if you want to bump those up to 32, 32 is a good number on that size of tire.
Right.
Okay.
I know some of the tire people that I bought tires from, they're just tire shops. So many of them will say, "Well, put 35 pounds all the way around, no matter what."
No,
to me, you get some pretty bumpy rides with that.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your answers there.
Not a problem. Thanks for calling in.
Yep.
Thank you for the call. 600 WMT. Let's go to Keith in Cedar Rapids. Hi, Keith.
Hi. How's it going?
Absolutely awesome today.
Well, I got a question. I got a 96 E250. It's got a 5.8 in it. It's got 204,000 miles on it.
It's almost broke in.
Yeah. The other day when the weather got cool, when you started it up, it idles at a fast idle.
Right.
And it never kicks back down. And once you start it up, the only way you can get it, if you turn it off, the only way you can get it started again is if you hold the gas pedal to the floor, and it'll start up and puff out some black smoke.
What year is this thing?
1996.
Okay, so let's see, 96, that was one of the first years on fuel injection on that one. No, that was, okay, I'm thinking 86. 96, that's fuel injected. You need to be looking at throttle body. When's the last time it was cleaned?
It hasn't ever been cleaned.
Okay. Are you mechanically inclined at all?
Well, I see, I mean, I kind of went online and everything, and it looks like it's something kind of easy to do, but it's kind of, I'm kind of reading what other people have done. They've had kind of like a similar problem, and they've tried that, and it didn't seem to make any difference.
Well, I would first off take the air tubes off, look at that throttle body, because that is one of the most common things we see on that. What you're going to do is you're going to open up the throttle plates with it not running, of course, and look inside, and I'll bet you'll find there's some black gunk and everything in there.
Well, I actually did do that, and it was kind of, yellow with some tarnish in there.
Yep.
I'm assuming, and I sprayed some throttle body cleaner in there and everything, and I don't know. After it sits, then when you first start it up, sometimes, it'll stay at the regular idle, but I don't know. It didn't seem to make any difference, but I guess from what I was seeing online, like they're talking about taking that whole thing off and even cleaning the back side of that throttle body.
Well, you don't have to take it off. The thing I'm going to tell you to do is use some carburetor cleaner, okay?
Okay.
You're going to take and you're going to open up those throttle plates. You're going to spray some carburetor cleaner in there, and then go to your medicine cabinet and get your wife's toothbrush. Don't use your own. Get your wife's toothbrush.
Yeah, better you do that.
Yep. And what you're going to do is you're going to scrub up that throttle body. Okay. You're going to open up the plates. You're going to spray a little more carb cleaner in there. You're going to scrub all the way around with that. Take a rag, wipe it out. Take a little more carb cleaner, spray it down. When you start it up, it's going to run crappy.
Okay.
After you runs just a little bit, it'll smooth out. That's the best way.
Now, is there a difference between what I bought was a throttle body / carburetor cleaner?
Yeah.
I mean, do I want just straight carburetor cleaner?
Buy straight carburetor cleaner on that.
Okay.
And do the toothbrush deal. Make sure you clean up the toothbrush before you put it back in your wife's medicine cabinet. You don't have a K&N filter in it, do you, by chance?
No, it's just kind of like I think it's a Fram is what in it.
Okay. Because that should have a mass airflow sensor also in the air tube. And while you have that air tube off, I want you to spray that mass airflow sensor and clean that up too, because you could have a little bit of gook in there too. Okay?
And that just gets sprayed with the carburetor cleaner too?
Yep. So spray that and blow it out with some air or whatever.
Is that kind of the electronic thing?
Yep, that's the electronic thing.
Okay, and actually, I guess there's two of them on there. There's kind of one that's kind of like a flat thing at the top, but then actually on the tube is kind of like a smaller one. Is that the one you're talking about?
The big flat thing is what you want to clean. That's the throttle body. Or that's the mass airflow sensor, excuse me.
Okay.
So, okay?
Okay,
So
hey, thanks a lot.
No problem. Thank you.
We got some folks waiting, but we have to take another break, and then we'll come back and take
man.
off. So don't go away.
Don't go away if you're on hold.
That's
We'll
right.
get you here in just a few minutes.
Jay, tell me about Cassill Motors. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about flood cars, do you?
Yeah, we're going to talk about flood cars. We're going to do that after a break.
Okay.
Okay.
After we take all these calls.
Okay, after we
All
take
right.
all these calls.
Cassill Motors is located.
We're on the corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard Southwest, right next to the great big beautiful Tysons.
All right.
And 396-2698. And the even more beautiful Shelley will put you through to whoever you want to talk to.
She's still there?
She's still there.
All right.
Well,
great.
she might be there still.
Okay. Well, anyway. Thank her for the cookies.
That's right.
All right. We'll come back and talk more with Jay Cassill, the brilliant Jay Cassill, in a moment to help you with your car. Little good vibrations for you.
Little good vibrations for me. That's awesome.
The Beach Boys.
That's right.
All right.
Cool.
And welcome back, Jay Cassill, my guest this morning. It's the Car Geek Hour, my Car Geek Hour. Is that what you call it?
I thought it was the Expert Hour.
No, it's called the Car Geek Hour.
Oh, it's Car Geek
I
Hour
used to
now.
call it the Expert.
Yeah, that's right. You used to call it the Expert Hour.
Yeah,
I don't like that
anyway,
word.
give Jay a call here. We've got plenty of time for your calls. 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. Having trouble with your car? I bet you Jay can answer it for you.
We
Haven't heard you
want
stumped
your
yet.
call.
That's right.
We want your call.
Uncle Sam wants you. He wants your call.
That's right.
That's right.
Uncle Jay wants your call.
Uncle Jay wants your call. Irv in Bellevue. Hi, Irv. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine.
Great.
How are you?
We are absolutely awesome today. Can't you tell? We're just having a blast. What can we do for you?
I've got a 2009 Buick Lucerne. It has heated and cooled seats in the front.
Yep.
On the driver's side and the passenger's side, we're getting water dripping on the carpet, and that comes out the rear of the seat. Can you tell me if there's a drain plugged on that, or what's the case there?
You're getting water dripping out of both sides?
My wife says both sides. I just noticed one side.
Okay. Because I've seen it where the passenger side will get some water on the floorboard, and the first question I'll ask is, well, right now you can't tell because it's raining, but the normal days when your car's sitting there idling and you got the air conditioning on, are you seeing the air conditioning that's dripping on the ground by the right front tire?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Because what we see on those is the little drain hole gets plugged up, or it might be halfway plugged up for you.
Okay.
And what it does is it overflows and runs inside the car on the passenger side. And a lot of times you don't notice it on the front floorboard because the rear floorboard is lower, and it'll run to the back, and then everybody's like, hey, wait a second, how come my rear floorboard's wet?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I'd be looking at is making sure that my drain is totally cleared up.
And if that would be plugged, is that accessible that I could run something up there and clean that?
Yep, you can do that at home, and take a coat hanger, straighten it out, and gently run a coat hanger up in there. You know, it shouldn't go probably more than about 6 or 8 inches up in there. And if you feel it hitting something hard, definitely don't push it through.
Yeah.
But use some common sense on that. But, you know, what happens is you get a little bit of dirt in there. Don't be directly underneath it, because if it is plugged up, when you poke the hole and break loose the dirt, you're going to get wet.
Okay, if I look underneath, where is that at exactly that I would be able to find that? Is it readily accessible?
Yes, it is. It's on the passenger side on the firewall. It's by the right front wheel, but you'll see just a little short stub of a hose sticking out there, just coming down through the firewall. Where the firewall comes down and then starts turning into the floor, you'll see it right there.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. So what'd you drive over here today?
Today, I drove a 2002. Well, I can't even read and write. I drove a 2012 Ford Explorer.
Okay.
You talk about a neat vehicle. This
right?
thing's got navigation. It's got the sync system in it.
Got the telephone thing in it?
Yeah, so I programmed in my phone.
Yeah.
And then that way I could listen to the Beach Boys all the way over.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. Then
you
you
play your Bluetooth music through it. You can make phone calls.
Now, if you
everything.
download the iHeartRadio app, then you can listen to my show.
Yep.
If you're in Wisconsin,
That's right,
you could do
I
that.
do.
Or California or something.
That's right, I do. I listen to you on Sundays.
Oh, my golly.
I just wish that you'd get the Beach Boys on there.
Well, I should sometime. But
Yeah.
Anyway, we go back a little further than the Beach Boys. Have you seen the Jersey Boys, by the way? You'd like that. That's right up your alley.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of the 60s. It's a movie playing.
Ah, okay.
See
Nope,
that.
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
Cool.
So I would ask. So anyway, I went to see that. That was the 60s stuff. Anyway.
There you go.
Tell me about your flood cars.
Hey, you know what? That's what we were talking about. We've been talking about all week at the dealership, and with the weather we've been seeing lately, with all the storms, the flood and everything else, flooding and everything. Don't take that very lightly with your cars. What I want to tell you is, if your floors are damp, all 4 floors are damp, or you think you've been in a little bit of high water or water up to the doors, get your car to your shop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So many times we're seeing so many different things with these newer cars. We actually had a customer's car that the water had come up just to the bottom of the seats. They weren't too worried about it. Came in, and I've never seen this before, and if you would have told me about it before, I would have told you you're goofy. It shorted out on the airbag system and blew the side curtain airbags.
Oh, my gosh.
Sitting at the stoplight, technician was sitting at the stoplight, and all of a sudden it just boom and blew both side curtain airbags. It was on a Nissan Xterra, and it's just like, wow. I mean, I've never seen that. If somebody would have told me that did it, I'd tell them they're goofy. But, getting that water out of the car, your mechanic knows your car the best. Get it to them and have them look at it to make sure, so many of these new cars, all the control modules and everything are mounted on the floor now, underneath the dash and underneath the seats. So much damage can happen to them. So get it to your mechanic and then call your insurance man. Okay?
All right.
So, but check them all out. And the thing about Iowa, your insurance company can't tell you who fixes your car. So you can take it to whatever mechanic you want. Your insurance company will pay it. They won't because it's illegal. They can't dictate who fixes your car. So get your car in and get it checked out. Make sure that you don't have problems, because if you got water, you will have problems down the road.
All right.
Okay.
Jay Cassill, good advice. Passing that along.
There you go.
Okay, let's take a call here. Talk to Les in Waterloo. Hi, Les.
Hi. Somehow we got crossed up because I heard everything you talked to that last guy.
Okay.
I have a vehicle that I thought maybe you might be interested in just hearing about.
Sure.
I have a 1959 DeSoto Diplomat convertible.
Really?
That they made 19 of originally.
Wow.
So if you do some looking, trying to look it up, you aren't going to be able to find it.
Oh, yeah?
Because it was made for overseas shipment only.
Really? I'd
Really?
like to see some pictures of that. You got pictures of it?
I don't have it right now. The past president of the DeSoto Club of America came out and took pictures of it, featured it in their magazine.
Really? Yeah,
It looks
I'd definitely like to see that. I'd be interested in something like that.
Yeah. When I first purchased it, I thought somebody put 2 cars together.
Yeah.
Because from the windshield forward, it's a 1959 DeSoto, and from the windshield back, it's a 58 Plymouth.
Really? That's
Really.
pretty wild.
When I got it, it came out of Hawaii.
Okay.
I have the Hawaiian plate and the Hawaiian sticker on the windshield.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah, get me some pictures of that. I'd definitely be interested in taking a look at that.
It's something that most people say that same thing. They have never heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do I send the pictures to?
Go to either castlemotors.com, and there's a link to my website there, or you can go to mycargeek.net, and you can send the pictures right there. Okay?
No, not going to work. I don't work with the computer at all.
Oh, okay.
So can I get back to you on this *6 as to where to send it, or how do I go about it?
Yep. Call me down at
396
2698.
2698.
Yep, and somebody will give you the address right there, and you can send them down to me, okay?
Okay. What area code are you in, sir?
Area code 319, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. And your name again?
J. Cassill. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call. We have folks that are on hold, and we'll get to them. Lots of folks got things they want to ask you about their car.
Sounds good. We'll get to you right after the break.
Tell us quick now where Cassill Motors is.
Corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard Southwest, next to Tyson's, and 396-2698. And the beautiful Shelley will get you through to whoever you want to talk to.
And you're going to be there all day today.
I'll be there all day today.
Welcome back. It's the Car Geek Hour here with Jay Cassill, Cassill Motors. And Jay, should we just get to the calls?
Let's just get to the calls.
All right.
I love calls.
Ruth in Dubuque. Thanks for waiting, Ruth.
Hello.
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 Yeah.
I have a 2000 Village Mercury.
Okay.
And
Mercury
when I
Villager.
come to a stop sign or a red light, it kind of does. It doesn't kill. It just does kind of I call it like a burp. It goes boop, and then and sometimes it does once, sometimes it does 3 times, but it never dies. So I was just wondering what could be wrong.
How many miles does it have on it?
95,000.
Okay.
I don't do a whole lot of driving.
Yep.
I don't know.
Now, so it sounds like the motor's actually trying to die, but it just doesn't actually die?
No, it never dies.
Okay.
It doesn't always do it. It's
Okay.
just once in a while. It either does it once or does it like 3 times, but it never kills.
Okay. The first thing I would start with is the real common deal on that, and I would be looking at that throttle body. For cleanliness, there's a throttle body.
A throttle body?
Yep, the throttle body, and then there's a idle air control solenoid.
Air control. That's
Yep.
what I was wondering.
Yep.
Sounds like it's like it's trying to get a breath to me.
Yep.
You know?
Idle air control solenoid, and that can be cleaned. Also, your service department can clean that for you.
Okay.
So that's where I would start out with on them, is the throttle body
Okay.
and the idle air control circuit.
Air control circuit. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks for calling in, Ruth.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Bye.
All right, let's go to Jamie in Cedar Rapids. Hi, Jamie.
Hi there.
Hi there.
Hi, Jay. Got a question for you. I have a 02 Tahoe.
Okay.
It has, I think, the 5.3 in it.
Okay.
I don't know if they consider that a 323 or 327.
327, yeah.
It's high mileage. Got like 150,000 on it.
Okay.
And when you start it up, it kind of chatters a little bit.
Okay.
So it warms up. And I've been told that's kind of common with those.
Not necessarily. Now, is it actually sound like lifters clicking, or is it just kind of a ticking sound and then it quits once it warms up?
Yeah, it's just a little bit. I don't know if it's lifters or if it's down below, but it kind of sounds like a lifter.
Okay.
You know, and after it runs for 30 seconds, then it doesn't do it.
Okay.
When you put it in gear, then you can hear it.
Okay. First thing I would check is look around. Those were real common, that the exhaust manifold bolts would break. Okay? Where your exhaust manifold bolts up to the engine. And what you'll get is you'll get a little bit of an exhaust leak right at first when you start it, and it sounds just like a lifter. It tick, 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 tick. And as soon as it warms up just a hair, the manifold expands and seals up the crack, the leak. So the first thing to look at is look at the bolts going in on both sides on the exhaust manifold, manifolds, and make sure what happens was the bolts will rust just a little bit, and then from the heat with that manifold expanding and contracting, it'll break the bolt off. So make sure all the bolt heads are on, and then look where that manifold bolts up to the head and see if you see some black. Okay? It should be aluminum head and a brown rusty looking exhaust manifold, and if you see a little bit of black exhaust residue, that's most likely, that's the most common thing on those exhaust manifolds. The bolts break and it sounds just like a lifter. The other thing that I would do is my old trick that I always do too. Every oil change on that, hold back a quart of oil and put a quart of transmission fluid in it. It'll help clean up. If you have a sticky lifter, it'll help to unstick the lifter. It helps clean the engine.
Okay, on that, I've heard you say that before, and, somebody might have told me that when I had it serviced there at your shop, and they did a good job, by the way.
Thank you.
But a lot of the transmission fluids you buy now, they're the multi. They'll do the Ford and the Chevy. And I know years ago they used to say the Ford had something in it that was different than the General Motors one.
Okay.
So
you can use any of them right now. We got to go. Our show's ending here, but any of the transmission fluid today will work good for you, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we're out of time. Boy, that was a fast show, wasn't it? That was,
I hate this. We got to go home.
You got to go home.
I don't want to go home.
That's not, well.
I want to stay here with you.
Well, we could do that maybe. Who knows here.
Okay.
Anyway, Jay Cassill Motors is located at?
We're on the corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard Southwest, right next to the great big Tyson's. And 396-2698, and the beautiful Shelley will put you through to whoever you want to talk to.
And you're going to be there all day, so if they would like to talk to you.
I'll be there till 5 o'clock today.
Very good. Jay Cassill, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks
for
having
me.
me.
You bet. See you next week.
Okay.
You're listening to 600 WMT. We have a current temperature of 64 degrees. Scheduled in this hour was Gary Dorfeld, who is with Coldwell Banker Hedges here in Cedar Rapids. I don't see Gary, so not seeing Gary, what I did was I twisted Jay Cassill's arm, and I said, hey, I said, would you mind sticking around another hour?
I didn't know that you used to do rodeo stuff.
Rodeo stuff.
I can't believe you swung that rope around and lassoed me and
as you were heading
in.
out for the parking lot.
Yeah.
Hey!
I was scratching and I just wanted to leave.
Well, better hear from you than me for the next hour. Something like that anyway.
So we're going to do an extra hour?
An extra hour of the Car Geek. That's right. That's right. And
Is that cool?
Jay Cassill's here. Now, we had a lot of calls that for asking questions that we couldn't get to. So this is your hour to do that. If you have a question about your car, or how it's running, or what you should do to fix it, or if you want to buy or sell a car, that's how Jay will be glad to help you with it. So
we'd love to take calls.
All right.
I love answering questions.
Well, and I know you do, and that's a good thing about this. So give Jay a call here, 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone.
And maybe we can get people talked into, or the station talked in, let me do 2 hours.
Oh, that was, I have nothing. Hey, they shouldn't have let me loose this morning.
That's right.
Here we go. Let's talk to Kevin in Martell. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I've got an older 80s Camaro, and when I turn the blinker on, my tachometer and everything, it goes blinky, blinky, too, so.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's just totally cool. It's really fun when the police pull you over and you go, hey, I wasn't flying.
So your speedometer and tachometer both go kind of haywire when you turn on the turn signal?
Yep.
Okay. I want to be looking at ground wires. Okay?
Okay.
Up underneath the dash, you're going to have ground wires for everything. I want to be looking and making sure my grounds are all good. Whenever I have that type of situation, I go back to my ground. I got a bad ground somewhere. I want to make sure, coming off my battery, that there, you got your battery, you're going to have a wire that's going to go to the body to ground the body.
Right.
Your ground wire is going to go down to the frame, and then it's going to go to the engine.
Okay.
And then we're going to have engine ground wires from the engine up to the body somewhere, but underneath the dash you're going to have some ground wires too, and you want to be checking all of those, especially on an older car. We got some corrosion, we may have a broken wire, anything of that sort. But whenever we start having multiple stuff like that, we're getting feedback.
Right. And I did get a replacement steering column because the cruise control turn signal was broken on it, and it was just easier to get the whole unit, cheaper too.
Okay.
And it looks like a pretty easy replacement. Would that have anything possibly to do with it?
It definitely could. That was my next step after we checked ground wires at the locations, at the connections on the body. the steering column, the wiring going down through the steering column, we've had some problems, especially on the General Motors products where the wiring, you got your housing, you got your wiring running down through the column, and then you got moving components. You got your steering shaft inside, and we'll get it to where it'll rub on the wiring harness in there, and cause a ground to go bad or that type of deal.
And I would say that you actually are the next financial hour, because we're having to put money into our vehicles, and you're saving us cash, and so you guys are doing a great job.
No, that was a realtor. That was a realtor.
This was supposed to be a home improvement hour. So.
Yeah, this is supposed to be home improvement.
So I won't have to move now because I can fix my car.
There you go. You can do some home improvement now.
Yeah.
Or the other thing is your home's going to be more improved now that your car is looking better and working better.
That's true. That's
true. There we go. So
exactly, I can get it in and out of the garage instead of just parking in the driveway.
Yeah, so this can be the Home Improvement Hour, sponsored by the Car Geek.
That's true.
Yeah.
Great job, guys. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thanks for calling in, Kevin.
You bet. Thank you. I should give the phone number slowly. 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. Jay Cassill graciously decided to stay a little over, so somewhere we missed connections. And Gary will be along one of these days, and we'll be talking to him about the folks over at Coldwell Banker, too. So you bet.
Learn more about real estate.
And real estate, you bet. So let's go. I have another question about your stolen car here. You seem to get one of these a week. Is that right? So,
there you go.
KC and Muscatine, you had a question here. Hello.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any update on that.
Well, yes and no. I talked to our police department actually on Wednesday, and they are still working on. They have a suspect, and they are working very hard on it. And I don't have any answers yet, but they're working on it. They're working on trying to get this solved, because the end result is Cassill Motors wants to try to get this thief put into jail, and I have some money sitting here waiting to be paid out to the good family that has given us the information. As long as this person gets arrested and is the person that stole the car. So I want to get them paid, and I want to get there's still a charity out there that's going to get $3,000 also. Wow. So I've been in contact with the police department. I think I'm being a thorn in their side, because I do want to get this resolved. I feel so violated, and I don't want anybody else to have to go through this. So if we can take these bad people and know that they're gonna pay for what they're doing, that's what Cassill Motors wants.
Well, did you convince them that you have him for an hour?
What's that?
Did you convince the police department to let you have him for an hour?
That would be oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
I dream about stuff like that.
No, you wouldn't do nothing.
No. I wouldn't do a single thing. I'd just let the police department do what they're supposed to do.
Well, I'll tell you.
Yes, sir.
That method I give you will work.
There you go.
All right.
You remember that?
Yep. That's it. It will. So.
All right.
I appreciate you calling in, Casey.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling.
Let's go to Paul in Edgewood. Hi, Paul.
Hi.
Good morning.
I've got a question for Jay about these fuel pumps. I've got an old motor home. It's an 84, but it's only got 1,700 miles. It don't get used.
1,700 or 17,000?
1,700.
Wow. Okay.
Every time I go to use it, I'm putting fuel pumps in it.
Okay.
It's carbureted, but it's got the electronic fuel pumps in the tanks. I've tried Sta-Bil. I've tried Seafoam. Tanks stay clean, but, the gas will sit in there for a couple years at a clip, and it just ruins these fuel pumps. I'm just wondering if there's anything that would work.
I don't know of anything that will work, other than just starting this thing up and running it.
I do that, but I just don't run it many miles. I'll start it up and move it around a little bit and let it warm up good.
The fuel today is so horrible.
That's what I was going to say. The first 10 years of this thing's life, I never had a problem, and here the last 15 years, every time I go to use it, it's 2 new fuel pumps. You can just count them.
Yep, the fuel today is so horrible. I will tell you from the the best fuel that I found out there, and I would run a premium in it. Put a premium in it. I know it's going to cost you a little bit more.
Yeah, I do. I don't use nothing with alcohol in it.
Right.
But I don't even seem to help. But
I wouldn't use too much stable in it. You know, sometimes when you use too much, you use more than what you need. You create a problem there too.
Okay.
I like, you know, for that type of deal, the BP fuel. There is a difference. I would probably get the fuel out of it that's in it, and I'd fill it up with the BP premium. But you just need to run this thing as much as you can. You know, get it up and run it. Part of, you know, that fuel pump needs to be exercising. You know, the old days our fuel pumps dried up because we didn't use them. These new ones, you know, the fuel gets surrounded by the fuel pump, or the fuel pump's surrounded by fuel, and it just gets gummed up there. So get that fuel pump, you know, once a month, fire this thing up and let it run, and let that fuel pump.
I do that.
Yeah, get that thing to where it's running and keep that fuel circulating through.
Do you have better luck with the stable, or do you have better luck with the Seafoam?
You know, I think the Seafoam is I prefer the Seafoam. The stable, I've had some. I used to use it, and I found some stable that I had in my shop that I'd been using for a couple years, just on my lawnmowers and stuff. And after a couple years, my stable started smelling like this bad fuel, and it's like, I just the Seafoam. I'm a little more of a Seafoam person than I am the stable anymore, just from personal experience.
Okay. The other question is, where should I keep the fuel on this? I've tried it at half tanks. I've tried it keeping them full. I've tried it keeping it down on a quarter. I don't know if that would make a difference or not.
You know, to maybe start out at a quarter of a tank and have our Seafoam in it and run that, and then add some, you know, add 5 gallons of fuel every couple months to it, and make sure you're running it to where, you know, you're adding some good fuel to it. That might help to where you don't have a problem with the fuel pump. So okay. So get that thing out and use it. Enjoy it.
Well, I'm old enough I don't use it anymore. I probably should get rid of the darn thing.
Sell it and let somebody else use her then.
There you go.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thanks for calling in, Paul.
All right, let's see. Let's go to, by the way, Jay Cassill is with me, Cassill Motors.
We're talking about cars.
We are.
Lots of cars. Cars, boats, motorhomes, you know, airplanes.
All right, let's talk to Brian in Monticello. Hi, Brian.
Hey, how you doing?
Absolutely awesome. You got any water down there?
Yeah, we did, and my car was the one that was in that flood over there in Langworthy.
Okay.
And, yeah, and I drove right in the water.
Yep.
And then had to be rescued from the water.
Ah, that's so good.
You know, but it, yeah, it looked shallow, the water did, but anyways, though, it went up over the hood.
Ouch.
Bogged the engine out, and I was stuck in about 3 foot of water.
Ouch.
Now, the thing is, sitting in the car, the water went over the gear shift, went over the cigarette lighter and everything.
Yep.
But we got her out. I mean, the water finally went down, towed it back over to my sister's over there. And well, it's still sitting right now. And had to drain the oil out of it.
Yep.
Drain the oil out, you know, because there was water inside the oil.
Yep.
Drained that out of there, took the spark plugs out, blew the, you know, and then, I mean, I cranked the engine on until the water shot all out of there, and that was pretty intense.
Yeah.
And then I dried out the inside the air box, dried out the, you know, and took the air filter out.
Yep.
And then dried out the distributor cap and wiped that off in the rotor.
Okay.
And did all that and cranked it over. Next thing you know, there was water back inside the oil again.
Yep.
And it turned a milky color.
Yep.
And, you know, the engine would, you know, I mean, it turned on, it'd run for about a second and shut off. And then I go ahead and anyways, let it sit. Then I killed the battery pretty much, so I had to charge that thing back up. And went ahead and changed oil again.
Yep.
And the second time I put like 2 bottles of iso heat down inside the gas tank.
Okay.
And the car started and it ran for a little bit and then it shut off.
Okay.
And then it wouldn't start again. It like barely start, and then it'd start up again.
Yeah.
And then shut off.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what I need to do next.
Well, I'd take a sample of fuel and see how much water you have in the fuel tank. Most likely you got a bunch of water, and that's why it's starting and shutting off.
Right. Now, do you think that seafoam would help that, to dump that inside there? And then
as deep as you got in the water,
yeah.
You need to drain the tank.
I need to drain the tank.
Yep. You need to siphon the fuel out of it, drain that tank, and get some fresh fuel in it.
Okay.
What kind of car are we dealing with here?
It was a 1993 Toyota Corolla.
Okay.
VX.
I would be calling my insurance. Do you have full coverage insurance?
No, we got liability on that car.
Okay. Bummer.
Car's not worth that to have full coverage on it.
Well, I would get drain the fuel tank on the thing.
Okay.
You need to check your transmission fluid and drain that too, because you got water in there.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do next.
Yep.
Main thing was to get it. I mean, I'm gonna take it to my mechanic.
Yep, get it to your mechanic and let him take a look. But he needs to drain the fuel tank, which he'll do, and then you're gonna have to drain all the fluids and refill them. Drive it for just a short distance, drain them again. You're gonna need to, if you're gonna try and keep this, you're gonna need to drain and refill all the fluids at least 4 times.
Okay. Well, I noticed that there was also a crack inside the exhaust manifold.
Well, that probably came from before.
You think it came from before? You don't think it came from the flooded area?
No,
okay.
It probably didn't come from the flood.
All right. Yeah, like I said, my mechanic said it's salvageable, and to get it to him anyway.
Yep. Get it to your mechanic and let him take care of it for you, and he'll get her running good.
All right, yeah. I was just wondering if it was still going to run. That's the thing. I was just wondering.
It sounds
about.
like you're okay on that part there. It didn't hydraulic lock, so you're good.
It didn't hydraulic, yeah. Because like I said, I mean, even after it shut up, I tried to crank, like any idiot would.
Yep.
And I cranked it once. I mean, I tried to crank it once, and it just went, and that's all it did.
Ah, okay.
So hopefully, I just want to make sure I didn't bend any valves or anything like that.
Nope, doesn't sound like you did. So get it to your mechanic and let him go to work on it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, we have to take another break. We have Tim holding on from Old Wine. Tim, stay there. We'll get back to you.
We'll get you right
First
away.
call. Yeah, and when we come back. And if you'd like to talk with Jay Cassill, he would be glad to talk with you about how it's something.
We're in our second hour.
Yes, how about that?
The Car Geek Hour. So give us a call. We'll answer your questions.
Very good. Jay Cassill, my guest this morning. We'll come back and talk more with him in a moment. 600 WMT. Welcome back. It is, we'll call it the My Car Geek Hour because that's what it is. Because
the
Jay
Car
Cassill
Geek 2 hour
is 2 hours here.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you'd like to talk with Jay Cassill this morning and ask him about anything about, maybe the car problems that you're having, he'd be glad to answer those for you. All you have to do is call him here at 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. And Jay, you've been around cars since you were 7 or 8, right?
8 years old.
8 years old.
Yeah.
And they've changed a little, though, haven't they?
They've changed a little bit, but they're still the same.
All right, phone numbers again, 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. Tim, thanks for holding. Hi.
Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, guys.
Yes, sir. What can we do for you?
Jay, I've got a 2004 Ford F-150 with a 5.4.
Okay.
160,000. I bought it with about 125. It's got that new notorious Ford tick.
Yep.
The thing sounds like almost like a diesel engine.
Yeah.
I looked it up, did a little research, something about cam phasers.
Yep.
I mentioned it to the mechanic when they've done some work. They kind of said, well, yeah, they do that. It's like, well, I'm wondering, is the thing going to get worse? Is it just going to blow up someday? Is it something that should be addressed?
Well,
I don't know what they're talking about when they're saying cam phasers.
Yeah, what they did is they went to a variable valve timing system. And there's a cam phaser on each overhead cam on that adjusts the timing on it. And they start making some noise. What happens is they're adjusted on oil pressure. And they either get gunked up inside or there's a possibility of a slightly too low of oil pressure and makes them rattle. And they sound like not good at all. Will it get worse? Possibly. It's about a $1,600 job to fix it. You got to look at the condition of the rest of the truck. I'll tell you that my brother, who he's got the same truck. He's got an 04 F-150 that I took in on trade. It's got 250,000 miles on it. The cam phasers were making noise. I've been doing some experimenting with it. Have not gotten them to quiet up just by, I've been doing my transmission fluid with them. He unfortunately doesn't drive a lot of miles, so it's not been a good test, but I have not got them to quiet down yet. It runs great every day. Some days it doesn't rattle as much as others. Yes, they're going to go bad someday. Will it go bad tomorrow? Probably not, but there's always mechanical object. It can and will.
Sure.
You got to look at the rest of the vehicle and say, is it worth spending $1,600 on this vehicle?
I mean, the truck's in decent shape, above average shape, and it's, I don't know, $1,600. Yeah, I'd probably spend that, but would that have any effect? This thing has gone through coilover plugs.
Nope.
Right and left, and they said that's common too for this engine.
That's pretty common on that. The Fords, the coils.
I think I've put like 5 of them in a year and a half.
Yep, and it sounds like you're doing it the way I would, as far as you're doing one at a time. Some places, what they'll do is they want you to replace all of them at once, and you probably go another 150,000 and not have another one go bad. I prefer to do the one that it needs as it needs it. So
these those cam phasers, they're internal. There's no real additive or anything an injection cleaner or anything.
Nope, there's no real additive. The only thing I can tell you is if you're putting on some miles, try what I'm doing.
I am.
The transmission fluid. Put a quart of transmission fluid in it. Transmission fluid's high detergent. Let it clean it up.
In the oil?
Yep, in your engine. Yep, every oil change, put a quart of transmission fluid in it, and maybe we can get it broke loose.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose I'm putting 3,000 on every couple months. So.
Okay. Sounds
all right,
good.
well, good enough.
No problem. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, thanks a lot.
No
you
problem.
Bet. Bye now.
Thanks for the call. Jay Cassill here, Cassill Motors here in Cedar Rapids, and we're going to go to Jerry in Gilman. Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
Where the heck is Gilman?
It's you know where Highway 30 is, running west, and you get to La Grande.
Yeah.
All right, it's 8 miles south.
Okay.
Between Gilman and Grinnell and and La Grande.
Okay, that's out by me. Cool. Okay, I'd never heard of Gilman.
I got a 97 Toyota Camry.
Okay.
And the ABS light came on.
Okay.
Now, is there anything that's dangerous about having that on?
No, there's nothing at all dangerous with the. Now we're talking about the yellow ABS light, right?
Yes, right down in the dash.
Yep. When Uncle Jay's stupid stoplight theory. When you talk about your dash, the lights on the dash, you have yellow lights and you have red lights. They're just like a stoplight. If a red light is on, it's shut it off immediately and pull over. If it's a yellow light, you can proceed till your next service and have it looked at. The only thing you're going to have on it is the ABS part of your brakes, the anti-lock, is not going to be active. So
this is like driving a 55 Chevy.
This is like driving your 55 might not have had power assist. This would be like driving a 71 Mustang brakes. Okay. You're going to you still have your power assist and that type of deal there, but you don't have anti-lock. So if you're out on the highway and you jam on the brakes really hard, your brakes are going to lock up now, just like the old days.
Just like the old days.
Just like the old days.
I'm 74. I think I can handle
You can handle that. My 2004 F-250 I had, the ABS light was on when it had 2,000 miles, and when I sold it at 140,000 miles, it still had the ABS light on. So
that's what I wanted to know.
There you go. Won't hurt a thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you very much. Yep. Bye.
All right, 600 WMT, Jay Cassill, Cassill Motors. The
Car Geek.
The brilliant Jay
No,
Cassill.
the Car
brilliant
Geek.
Jay Cassill. All right, let's go to Don in Cedar Rapids here. Hi, Don.
Hello. How you doing?
Hey, I am absolutely awesome.
Hey, that's great. I got an old, just a story.
Okay.
You ever heard of a Dodge Wayfarer?
Dodge Wayfarer?
Wayfarer?
What is it?
Well, I'll tell you, I had one. It was a 1950.
Okay.
And it was kind of, and no one ever hears of it, but I had it. I know I had it, and anyway, it was kind of a race car effect before they got into all the good stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And it had tie downs on the axles, so you could use levers and lock them up so they don't have any springs. And,
really?
It was, of course, the old straight six. And the one I had was a coupe, and it had manual raise and lower. It was convertible.
Yeah.
And the windows were plexiglass, and they had a little place in the back of the seat, and you take them out of the doors and put them down in there, and you had the sides open. And I've mentioned it to 2 or 3 different people, and no one ever heard of it.
Really?
And I've only heard of it mentioned one time, and I could never get any verifications of it, and I thought, well, you know, maybe you heard something, and maybe it would be interesting for you to hear it.
I'm gonna go go Google that. It's a Dodge Wayfarer.
Dodge Wayfarer.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Don't know what it was, but I've heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really quite a car. It was really nice to ride, and it had real good
1950
steering.
Dodge Wayfarer.
Yes.
Okay.
I think they made it in 49 and 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Looks like they made it 49 to 52.
49 to 52? You got it in there now, huh?
Yeah, gangster style, big muscle car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's it.
Back then, it was one that no one, you didn't recognize it, but it was quite the car.
Huh. That's cool. I learn something new every day.
Well, listen, I'll get off. You have a great day, and
you too. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Yeah, I had heard of it. I just couldn't tell you what it exactly was.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I see how you are.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's see. We have another call here. We're going to John in Davenport. Hi, John.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I have a comment to make about fuel.
Oh, great.
From my experience, past experience, the best fuel I've had in my automobiles, I've got regular cars and muscle cars, is Sunoco Custom Blend or ExxonMobil, and neither one of those vendors are in Iowa.
Right, there you go. We're trying to talk about the good stuff, the stuff that's around here.
Not only that, but you go to these quick shops in 7-Elevens.
Yep.
You don't know what you're getting.
You have no clue what you're getting in that tank. So that's in this area. That's why the BP is what my favorite. I like to support local stuff, so I'm a big come and go person. I buy a lot of come and go fuel because their fuels are the best around here as far as a local deal. The BP around here would be my favorite, but I agree that Sunoco and the Exxon.
But even BP, now I get BP gas now, high test for my Corvette.
Yep.
But if you pull in there's a generic truck. It'll say Molo on it or this or that. There's no more like BP tankers. You don't see Shell tankers.
Well,
you don't know what you're getting in there.
You don't know. But as you know with your Corvette and with what I drive an old 77 Ford truck with a little more of a performance-oriented motor now. I can tell the difference between the different fuels. And the BP, I don't ever get any detonation. The come and go, very seldom do I get any, but some of the others, I put a little bit of their premium in, and man, that thing rattles like a banshee. And so the BP has been the most consistent.
Well, one thing people should do, never get gas in your car when the tanker's filling up the
there you go.
underground tanks.
Yep. So
then you get water in there. There's sediment.
You let it
chance. Settle down for a while, then you fill up.
There you go. And always do it on a cool morning too, so you get more fuel for your buck. So,
okay, 10-4.
Sounds good. Thanks for the call in, Josh.
Thank you very much. All right, let's go to Steve in Atalissa. Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Good morning. What can we do for you?
I got a 2005 F-250.
Okay.
And I'll be driving it once in a while, and I go to stop, and the motor starts shaking.
Uh-huh.
You shut it off and turn it back on, it's fine.
Okay. Now, if you just left it running, what's it do?
Well, I've never left it run because I don't know. I guess I don't like the fact that it's shaking.
Okay.
Would that be something with the torque converter hanging up? Or?
It definitely could be. Ford had some issues with torque converters. When's the last time you've had the transmission serviced?
I haven't. I just bought the truck. It's only got 50,000 miles on it, but I just bought it a year ago.
Okay. I'd be looking at transmission at the condition of the fluid. That definitely could be causing some issues there. The other thing I want to be looking at, does it have a K&N filter in it?
I don't know.
Okay, I'd look at the air filter on it. We sell the K&N filters, and I love the K&N filter. The problem is they have an oil residue on them that makes them clean better. But you'll get a little bit of residue on a mass airflow sensor. So if you are running a K&N type filter, you want to clean the mass airflow sensor, every fourth or fifth oil change. That can cause a problem there for you too. So
okay.
I'd be looking to see if it's got a K&N filter in it, or if it's had a K&N filter in it. Looking at that there, and then from there we need to. Do you have a check engine light that comes on at all?
Yeah, the little symbol comes up. Yeah.
Okay. We need to plug it in and see what code we're getting. Okay. Before you go too far with anything, plug it in. Let's see what code we have, and that is going to lead us towards your shaking when it's shut when you're coming to a stop. So,
yeah, it doesn't do it all the time, just once in a while. But
yep.
When it does do it, it kind of worries me because I got another 2005 with the same motor, and the cam chain went through the valve cover on that. I had to put a new motor in it.
Ouch. Okay. Yeah, let's plug in and see what you got for a code first off.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have to take a break. I hope Kurt will hang on the phone
hang on,
here.
Kurt,
and
we'll talk about your problems.
And tell me about Cassill Motors, Jay, where you're located, phone numbers. And
we're on the corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard, right next to the great big beautiful Tysons. 396-2698. The beautiful Shelley will put you through to whoever you want to talk to.
You have just about every make and model is available, right?
I think I have everything that there is. If I don't have it or I can't get it,
there you go.
Probably don't need it, right?
All right, there we have. And you heard it right here.
You heard it right here with Jim Doyne on WMT.
Right. All right, we'll come back and talk more with Jay Cassill in a moment. This is 600 WMT.
WMT.
Welcome back. Now we have my Car Geek hour. In this hour, Jay Cassill has agreed to stay with us.
Yeah.
Well,
this is the real estate hour.
Normally.
With the Car Geek.
That's right. Well, that's all right.
We're figuring out how to make our cars better.
That's right.
So that our houses are worth more money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can do something like that.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we're doing.
All right.
Your house is going to be worth more money if your car looks good and works properly.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like now if you got to see, I don't know where to go with this. Anyway, if you have a question for Jay Cassill and something about your car or why it's not doing what it should be doing, Jay can answer that for you. 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. We still have time for a few more calls.
We got Kurt in Marion.
Yes, we do. Hi, Kurt. How are you? Kurt? Hello? Hello, Kurt. Wait a minute. There you go. Hi, Kurt.
Yeah, good morning again.
Okay.
Sorry, we were on the wrong button there.
Yeah,
we
were for a minute. You got me all confused. Go ahead, Kurt.
What can we do for you?
Well, I've got two questions.
Okay.
You've been talking about the gasoline and its marginal qualities. What about diesel? Is diesel kind of degraded like gasoline?
This low sulfur diesel. I'm frustrated with that too. It seems like I'm always complaining. I'm sorry, but this new low sulfur fuel has been really hard on the diesels. And the big thing it is diesels have always used the oils and the fuels in it. They were kind of greasy, grimy, slimy. It always seemed like the worst quality diesel fuel was better. Now they've regulated it and trying to make it better and make it a cleaner, better fuel, which that's fine. But they've taken out the sulfur, and we have a lot of turbochargers that are that actually rust. Used to be you pulled a diesel engine apart and turbochargers and that, they always had a residue, and you always hated working on them because you got, diesel oil was just, always stuck with you. And now they've taken all that out of it with this low sulfur diesel. And when we talk about turbochargers sticking, we have injector issues, injectors sticking. It's because of the low sulfur oil. And the thing I'm going to tell you on that, you want to, they make some additives. There's some good additives out there. And everybody's going to think I'm weird, but on the diesels, when I fill up, you got about a 30 or 40 gallon fuel tank. A quart of transmission fluid in the fuel is always a good idea with the diesel fuel. That's helping put a little bit of oil back in the fuel. Diesel fuel or transmission fuel is a good lubricant. It's also, it helps clean stuff, so we're going to help clean some of that rust off everything. So a quart of transmission fluid in my gas tank on my diesel is definitely the way to go.
Okay, well, before I go on my second question, regarding the transmission fluid,
Yes.
You're saying maybe a quart per 40 gallons?
Yeah, quart to 40
is a good
gallons.
ratio?
Yes.
Okay, all right. My second question is, it's probably more for your nephew, but on a race course at the finish line,
Yep.
where is the actual finish line? Because a finish line, like you watch it on TV, it's typically 4 or 5 feet wide.
It would be at the leading edge. I believe is when you watch all the replays and that, they're showing it just as they're crossing the first edge of the finish line. It's the first part of the stripe. So.
Okay, now, like, it'll have a checkerboard pattern and then a solid stripe and then some other things. Would it be the first point of paint would be considered the finish line, or?
Well, that's a good question. I would say it's probably not at the checkerboard. I think all the different finish lines are a little bit different, but it's going to be at the stripe. Is where you're going to be the finish line, the start line and the finish line. So right there, they're going to have a beam. They got a beam right there, and that's where I would say it is.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Well,
that would
appreciate
be a good question. If you wanted to send me an email at mycargeek.net, and you know what, I will do some research on that and find you out the exact answer on that. How's that sound?
Okay, that sounds great.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You think you might be talking to Landon or something like that?
Well, I think
we should get him on the show for a little bit just to answer that.
There we go.
We can't do it today,
Yeah.
but maybe at some future program.
Maybe next show or something.
Sure, yeah. That'd be
Sounds
great.
cool.
And let's talk to Joel in Ridgeway. Hi, Joel.
Hello.
Ridgeway.
I got Ridgeway up by Decorah.
Okay, cool.
Question on a 02 Chevy. It's got a 6.0 in it.
Okay.
When I'm pulling a trailer, if I'm in tow haul,
Yep.
my check engine light starts flashing at me.
Awesome.
And I don't really feel any hesitation in the truck. It seems like it's shifting fine and everything, but it just flashes.
So the check engine light's flashing at you.
Yep. Only when I'm only if I'm in tow haul. If I don't use the tow haul button,
Yep.
then it doesn't do it.
Okay. How many miles does this have on it?
235,000.
Okay. When's the last time you had it tuned up?
Oh, I get it tuned just before every winter. I use it as a plow truck as well, and I put a brand new transmission in it 2 years ago.
Okay. But have they actually done spark plugs and wires and stuff like that when they do the tune-up, or are they just looking at things?
No, I do. I've changed the plugs and wires myself starting last winter.
Okay. Because the check engine light flashing is tells you that we're having a misfire code. Okay, that it's misfiring.
Yep.
And that can be from injectors, or it could be from worn spark plugs or a bad spark plug wire, coil pack, that type of deal there. The thing I would look at, since it's flashed, it's going to save a code in the computer.
Yep.
And I would be looking at that there. The reason it's doing it probably when you're in the tow haul mode more, excuse me, is when I'm in the tow haul mode, it's making the transmission stay into a lower gear a little bit longer. Like the old days when we used to put a shift kit in a transmission, instead of it shifting too soon and then getting out of our torque and our horsepower range, we put a shift kit in, it made it to where it ran a few more RPMs, then it shifted. Most likely at your upper RPM, where it's starting to see that it's misfiring. Like I said, it could be from an injector that's partially plugged and not giving enough fuel at the upper RPM range. I would guess more that it's probably from a spark plug that's got a little bit too much of a gap from being worn. But you need to look at it and see, and it's going to tell you which cylinder is starting to misfire or cylinders. Have you done a injector flush on the truck?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I would look at it, and if the plugs are as new as what you're saying, and the tune up that part is good, I would look at doing an injector flush. And you're going to have somebody do that. Don't just add a can of injector cleaner to the gas tank. The fuels today have enough cleaner to help keep stuff clean that way. But with that kind of miles, injector flush, which they're gonna bypass the fuel tank, and they're gonna run more of a concentrate injector cleaner through it, and do a real deep, intense cleaning. I would say with that kind of miles and with what you're telling me, that's probably where it's going to be at.
Okay.
So it's just you're holding a little bit higher RPM. The motor's asking for more fuel and more air. It's getting the air, but it's not getting enough fuel, and it's making it misfire.
All right.
Okay.
Well, sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. How do you know so much about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been here and done this.
Been there. But
yeah.
you kind of stay up with all of this too, even though you're not back in the service department at this point. You kind of stay up with all the stuff as it comes.
I try to be back in the service department as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather spend time in the service department. The service manager just assume I not spend time back there. Danny likes me, at least when he's looking at me.
Okay.
So no, I love to play around with stuff, and that's what over the years growing up, we played with cars, and we've raced cars. We've had a lot of fun with stuff, and the big thing was when we grew up, we didn't have any money. I still don't have any money, so we had to adapt. We had to figure out how to squeeze a little more out of the car without, we didn't have that opportunity to go buy the new $500 carburetor for our Mach 1.
I see.
We had to figure out how to make what we had flow and do what we needed. So that's where a lot of this comes in. Is we've done so much with so little for so long. We can do anything with nothing forever.
Okay, very good.
That's
another one of those wise sayings you got, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Cassill's never quit, and
if you
no
don't need it or want it, or you get. I don't.
Yeah, if I don't have it or can't get it, you probably don't need it.
That's true. That's true.
No one can ruin my day without my permission.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You gotta,
So that's just the way that's the way life has always been for us. We just my dad. You can't say can't. You always have to. We can figure it out.
All
so
right.
that's the
way.
way
Take another break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on at Cassill Motors. Maybe we'll get another call in here.
Get another call. Awesome.
Jay Cassill, Cassill Motors. You're located where now, Jay?
We're on the corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard, right next to the beautiful Tyson's West, and 396-2698. And the beautiful Shelley will put you through to whoever you want to talk to.
All right, we'll be back in a moment. Back with you now, and we have Jay Cassill as our guest here, and we have an extension of the My Car Geek
That's
Hour.
not quite the Beach Boys, but.
Well, no, I
know.
Anyway,
let's take
but they were talking about your what's your nephew?
Yeah, my nephew Landon. He's got an awesome starting spot tonight.
Yes, he does.
Third spot.
Okay.
And he's got a good car.
All right, we'll see what happens.
That's
Jim,
right.
Jim in Cedar Rapids. Hi, Jim. Hello,
Jim.
Jim.
Turn up
there
that
you
knob.
There
you go. Turn up that knob.
All right.
How you guys doing?
We're awesome. What can we do for you?
Good. I got a quick question. I've got a '96 GMC pickup truck.
Okay.
It's got a six-cylinder in it, and I'm not sure what size that is.
4.3. Yep.
Okay. I had it rebuilt about 6 months ago. The engine blew. I had it rebuilt.
Okay.
And I noticed when I drive in, I just got back from Chicago. When I put on cruise control, I noticed it going up hills and stuff. It kicks in the passing gear an awful lot.
Okay.
Now, is that if I don't have it in cruise control and I just use the gas pedal regular, I can adjust it so it doesn't kick into passing gear as much going up hills. Now, is that putting extra strain on that engine and the transmission when I've got it in cruise control and it keeps kicking in the passing gear like that? Keep it up to speed?
It's turning more RPMs, so yes,
Right.
it's putting more strain on the engine. I want to look at that there as far. It depends on what type of hill you're going into and everything. If it seems like it's doing it a little premature, let's be looking at fuel system as far as when was the last time the fuel filter was replaced on that vehicle.
Okay.
And then if the fuel filter looks good, to put a fuel pressure gauge on it and make sure that we have the proper amount of fuel pressure. Because if we're down on fuel pressure, it's going to make it work a little bit harder, and
Okay.
you could have issues that way.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So, would you recommend me not putting it into cruise control then when I go
put
in?
Put it in cruise control. But let's look at this. Let's look at this fuel filter and see what we got. And if nothing else, bring that thing by and let me take it for a ride with you. I don't charge anything for test drives, and bring it by and let's take it for a ride and see what it's doing. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome.
Thanks, bud.
Sounds good. Thank you for calling in.
Yep. Later.
Well, we're not going to get. I think Chrissy's got a number for
Jack in West Liberty.
Yeah,
I will call you back as soon as I get out of the show here, Jack.
But we're just about out of time, and I wanted to take time to talk about Cassill Motors, what you have out there, where you're located, and where people can talk to you and see you.
I have something for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
From motorcycles, boats, campers. Less expensive cars that are good.
Mm-hmm. And you have a special on some of the cars you sell about that lifetime warranty.
Yeah, our cars come with lifetime engine warranty. It's a really neat deal. It's a Cassill Motors exclusive deal. There's no other dealers that have it. It's our deal, and so you can come in. You can buy yourself a car with lifetime engine warranty. We got awesome financing right now. There's just everything. So it's fun.
No reason not to go to Cassill Motors to buy your next car, right?
There is absolutely no reason to not stop and see us.
All right, there you go.
Give us a chance.
Now, you're located where, Jay?
We're right on the corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard Southwest, right next to Tyson's.
Mm-hmm.
And 396-2698. The beautiful Shelley will put you through to whoever you want to talk to.
Are you working all day today? So
I'm working all day today.
Folks want to stop out and see you?
I will always go for a test drive. Come up and I'd love to take your car for a test drive, and it's free of charge.
All right. Stop out Cassill Motors. Again, you're located where?
Corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard Southwest, right next to Tyson's.
All right. We'll see you, and thank you so much for being here. Thanks for staying an extra hour.
Hey, thanks for letting me.
All right.
Okay.
See you now.
Bye.